Today, let us discuss about the limb bones, which are included under appendicular skeleton. Pectoral girdle done, pelvic girdle done. Pectoral girdle consists of two bones in each half, that is clavicle and scapula. 2 plus 2, 4 bones. Pelvic girdle, 2 bones. Only coxal bone is formed by the union of 3, ilium, ischium, pubis, that is coxal bone. So this side one and that side one, 2 bones. So 4 plus 2, 6. Now let us see in each limb how many bones are present. In each limb 30 bones are present. There are 2 pairs of limbs in our body. 2 pairs, 1 pair of 4 limbs and 1 pair of hind limbs. Each limb consists of 30 bones. So here 4 limb consists of 1 humerus in the upper arm, 2 bones, ulna and radius in the lower arm or forearm, and the wrist consists of 8 carpals, palm consists of 5 carpals, and fingers have 14 phalanges. So altogether how much? 30 bones are 3, 11, 16 and 30 bones in each limb. So let us see here. Here the glenoid cavity, which is the cavity of the pectoral girdle into which the head of the humerus fits in, forming ball and socket joint. Let us discuss about the joints afterwards. And next, so 1 humerus, 2 bones, radius and ulna in the forearm or in the lower arm, and in the wrist consists of 8 carpals. These are the carpals. And here in the carpals, one insignificant carpal is there, that is called pisiform bone, which is at the junction of the palm and the wrist at the edge. Okay, this is pisiform bone. And next coming to 8 carpals, and next metacarpals are 5 in the palm region, and the fingers are supported by 14 phalanges, the thumb with 2 phalanges, and all the 4 fingers are with 3 phalanges each. So altogether how many? 30. So 30 plus 30, 60. The pair of 4 limbs consists of 60 bones. Now coming to the hind limb. There are a pair of hind limbs which are legs in our body. Thigh is supported by femur, 1. Shank is supported by tibia and fibula, 2 bones. Ankle is supported by tarsals, which are 7 in number. And next, the sole consists of metatarsals and the toes are called phalanges. So here one more bone, that is called patella, which is present at the region of the knee, that is called kneecap. So altogether 1 plus 2, 3 at the joint, at the joining, at the junction of the femur and tibia fibula there is a kneecap. So 4 plus 7, 11, 16 and next 14 plus 14, 30 into 2, 60. So here 120 bones. So altogether we have finished in the previous sessions. In the axial skeleton, cranium consists of 8, facial consists of 14, and ear ossicles on each side 3, 3 into 2, 6. Hyoid is individual bone 1. So 28 bones in the skull and 1 bone hyoid. So 29, and sternum is 1, 30, and next 26 vertebral column, and next 12 pairs of ribs in the thoracic cage, that is 24. So 26 plus 24, 50 plus 30, 80 bones in the axial skeleton. Longitudinal axis of the body, these 80 bones are present. And coming to the appendicular skeleton, pectoral girdle 2 plus 2, 4 bones, pelvic girdle 1 plus 1, 2 bones, and each arm consists of forearm consists of 30, so 60, a pair of arms, and hind limb, each hind limb 30, two hind limbs 60, so here 120 plus 6, 126 plus 80, 206 bones all together in our body. Now coming to the joints, the structural arrangement where two bones meet each other. The joints are very essential for the movements of the body, which are helpful for the movements and locomotion. Joints are majorly three types: fibrous joint, cartilaginous joint, and synovial joint. Synovial joint is free joint out of all, and it consists of again how many joints are there? Ball and socket joint, hinge joint, fiber joint, gliding joint, saddle joint. 5 joints. These are the various types of synovial joint only. Now coming to the fibrous joint. Fibrous is also called immovable joint or fixed joint or synarthro joint. Why? Because it is immovable. Just it cannot move here and there like other joints. It is fixed. It is stable. So do not allow any movement. This joint do not allow any movement. The bones are firmly fixed with collagen fibers. And these joints are called sutures. These are called sutures, where the cranial bones are attached to one another. The joints in skull, they are joined by sutures, and the tooth in the socket of the jaw also fixed. So it is called fibrous or immovable or fixed or synarthrose, syn united, arthros joint. So synarthro joint. Second one is cartilaginous joint, which is imperfect or slightly movable joints, or it is also called, they are also called amphiarthro joint. So two bones are held together with a disc or white fibrous cartilage. This disc will restrict the movement, so slight movement will be there. It is not totally fixed, it is not freely movable. So the cartilaginous joint between two adjacent vertebrae allows limited movement. Example, it is seen in the sternum and next ribs, and also pubic symphysis in the pelvic girdle and the intervertebral discs. Here we see cartilaginous joint. Now coming to the synovial joint are freely movable or diarthro joints. These are freely movable in one or more directions. The bones of this joint covered by synovial membrane. Between the two articular surfaces, there is synovial cavity, which is filled with synovial fluid, So here like this, synovial membrane is present, and synovial cavity between the articular surfaces, synovial cavity. Here the synovial fluid is present, which allows the movements of bones in all directions. It gives stability to the joint, and this acts as lubricant, and this acts as shock absorber, and it also nourishes the bones. So this is about the synovial joint. Both the ends of the bones are covered with hyaline cartilage, which are the articular cartilages. According to shape and movement of synovial joints, there are 5 types. One is ball and socket joint. Already we discussed a little point about this. Most free of all the joints. This is the most free type because we can move our forehand in any direction, rotationally, move in different directions. And next, one end of the bone is ball-like and the other bone is cup-like, consists of cup-like socket. The other bone's end is cup-like socket, and ball fits into the socket like this. So suppose if it is the humerus, this is the ball, and if it is the pectoral girdle, this is the glenoid cavity. So the ball fits into the glenoid cavity. So this is how the ball and socket is there, and also hip joint also the same joint exists. So here That is about the shoulder joint and hip joint. Now coming to the hinge joint. Hinge joint. Hinge joint allows movement in only one direction, in only one plane. The end of one bone is deep convex and the end of the other bone is deep concave, and it articulates with the concave end, and it allows movement only in one plane, like elbow joint and knee joint, and the joint will be like this. Elbow joint will be like this, deep convex and deep concave. And next, pivot joint. Pivot joint is, it allows rotation. Pivot joint will allow the rotation like this. Rotation, because one end of the one bone is rounded or pointed, and the other one has shallow depression. The shallow depression will be fixed and the round one will be moving, so it gives rotational movement, atlas and axis. And next, gliding joint is the simplest one. The ends of bones are either flat or curved slightly. They glide or slide over each other and allows movement in only one direction. So side to side movement occurs in this. No twisting is possible, no rotation is possible, because the bones are held together by ligaments. That is why no rotation is possible. So ligaments, they bind them tightly. So wrist and tarsals, they show the gliding joints. And saddle joint is at the thumb region, and here it allows movement in all directions like ball and socket. Ball like end of one bone fits into the saddle like socket of the other bone. So here the carpals and metacarpals, the joints between the carpals and metacarpals. So thanks for watching.